get absorbed in, and you are Sonic.
What's up, everybody? I'm Taylor Olmstead, and I want to welcome you back to No Repeat, a podcast where we pick 3 songs every week with no repeats and no do-overs to create a perfect playlist for every occasion life throws at you. Joining me are my co-hosts, Tyler Reed and Sean Evans.
Hey, Taylor, do you know what the 2020 Democratic candidate and an Australian onion have in common? They're both bloomin'. Oh, God, sorry. I'm an idiot.
Woof.
The field just keeps getting smaller, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Tyler, what was our challenge this week?
This week, your challenge to find the perfect song for when we're thinking about our sweet baby angels while we're at work. Sent in by Crazy Ginger 11, Shay Groves.
Okay, so I feel like we need to, define what this challenge means, because we just kind of went with this without discussing who our sweet baby angels were. I assumed that your sweet baby angels are maybe your pets, or in a different life stage, your children, although none of us have children. I wasn't thinking significant other necessarily, but I guess you could be thinking about your significant other at home while you're at work. But I was very much thinking about the furry sweet baby angels. Was I correct there?
Yes. Shay and Michael own 2, I forget exactly what their breed is, but they have 2 sister dogs, Chloe and Josie, and I can almost guarantee that's who she was referring to.
Is that how you guys approach the challenge, though?
Yes.
No. I might have really done messed this one up.
It makes a lot of sense now.
What did you think this challenge was, Sean?
It does work. Okay, so the methodology that I use, because I thought this was a meme or something that I didn't understand. So I kind of yes, know it. I just assumed that I was the no, because you guys just boom, the answers were in. And I was okay. So I typed in to Google sweet baby angels, but what I actually wrote was sweet baby angles. And then we came up with a bunch of stuff on Reddit about why do people have this on their thing? And it was apparently it's an inside joke for some people on the internet that sweet baby angles, and they just troll people that spell it wrong on the internet. So I was wow, that's funny. So I'm just gonna I know a lot of people that talk about that a lot. If you misspell something, if you use the wrong there, they just get all upset about it. They get all hurt. So I was thinking if I had a song kind of in my repository that was just kind of well, just deal with it. This stinks to be you. I don't know. I'm not going to cry over your spilled milk. Not that I try my best to use, functional grammar in my job and, generally speaking. But no, I guess I could use this for my cat too. She's kind of a boss. So yeah.
I think
I do tell her this all the time.
Surprisingly, I think I've listened to this song a lot of times. Let me check, because I've straight up listened to all of our songs for an hour today. So, I've listened to each of these songs at least 10 times today. So I think by now I'm okay, I can figure out how Sean was thinking about his cat or Sarah.
Oh no, definitely about my cat. Let's make this explicitly clear.
Not about Sarah.
Not about Sarah.
Okay. So, I feel like if I were to inject a thought into Sean about what his song could possibly mean, I imagine it's dealing with you're thinking about about your cat at you're at work, and you're just I don't want to deal with these other people, or you're at a party, or maybe you're just I just want to be thinking about my cat. I want to be thinking about anything else except for this sweet angel in my house. So that's what I thought about when I was listening to your song. So I'm this is a real tough guy song, because I'm well, Sean, I guess he's not feeling very specifically affectionate about this creature.
I was just so confused when this pick came in. But for my song, I was going to the cutesy place. I was I need a cutesy song that's about loving my sweet baby angels. I didn't want it to be too romantic, because the prompt isn't romantic. It's, you you just want to be at home, cuddled up with your fur friends and not being at work. And I get that. Sometimes I wish that I was able to go home to an animal friend and spend the day in bed with them and not see any humans. And so I wanted to find a song that felt kind of warm and cozy and like home, and also had a little bit of playfulness, like that kind of like excited pet playfulness to it that led me to where I went with this.
So I had a very specific focus of what I was trying to achieve. I want to imagine either like a TikTok or like an Instagram story. For Instagram, it would be like using the super zoom where it zooms in on the pet and then, or like the thing, and then it like has like hearts and stuff around it, which is what I was alluding to in my intro, is because that's like the sound that plays. Or I imagine just like a TikTok video that has like maybe someone just really just loves their pet and they're just doing something cute, and they would like pick something that kind of is just like, I love this cat, woo woo. It's like kind of lovey, kind of cute, but it doesn't necessarily even have to necessarily do like, it just has to be like a snippet, like a part of the song just has to feel like that you can like clip it for like a 15-second video and it works really well. I literally almost picked Say So, which is by Doja Cat, which is like the like kind of like the like a TikTok meme song, but it kind of has got like a nice like kind of a little bit of like funky bass to it that I kind of like, and it's kind of like a lovey song, like a little bit. I kind of had like two different kind of mindsets. I started off by doing like kind of like cute like Japanese like sort of electronic sounds that had lots of like sort of like synthy kind of things, but then I kind of got into like a more of like bassy kind of like maybe more like a Michael Jackson kind of vibe, or like I also chose like Redbone as like a B-side. So I was kind of like going to like a different kind of mode, but I was just trying to find something that had some good words that just kind of stuck with me.
I honestly don't even know where to start this week.
Yeah.
I guess
most excited, so I think I should go first.
Yeah, you should go first, Tyler. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. This week I chose Love on Top by Beyonce. So, those of you playing at home, you may be thinking to yourself, boy, Tyler, you must really love Beyonce so much that you picked this top track off of her hit album 4 from 2011. And you would say, absolutely not. I was dancing with friends, and I Shazammed it because I liked the sound of it. And that's my only context for knowing what the song is. It turns out it's one of her most well-known songs. So that's pretty neat. But I think really probably what electrified it, what made it so like impactful for me, is that it really kind of captures that sort of like 80s sort of like pop sensibilities, like a Janet Jackson or like a Whitney Houston kind of vibe. It's got some nice like sort of like old school synths on it. It's got like a very it just falls into a lot of like the traps of kind of like 80s pop, and it really sells it for me. I mean, to be fair, I don't dislike Beyonce's vocals. I just think that she's just not someone that I've ever really felt that compelled to listen to. Although I like some Destiny Child songs. I like some of her original songs, But a lot of the other songs on my B-sides were kind of in that space. I also found like I said, a Janet Jackson song that was also on this list, and I realized that this is very out of my wheelhouse. But I think I'm really just digging like the 80s pop again. I think I'm really kind of like going into there, especially considering I kind of been getting into New Order and stuff like that. Really exploring the 80s right now.
So you mentioned earlier that you wanted to find a song that was like kind of memeable, like you could make a cute video of your pet for Instagram or TikTok for it. Are you familiar with the Vine that really helped to popularize this song?
Yes, I unfortunately, after I had picked it, I thought to like look up like Vine or like TikTok of this song, and I realized the only one was just like a dude making a really goofy face.
Sean, have you seen this Vine? The Love on Top Vine?
No.
We'll put this in the show notes for our listeners, but it's a classic from the old days of Vine. You must see it.
It's not very long. It's a pretty short Vine, and I feel like it's weird that that's like the only one. That's like was it really that iconic of a Vine? Was it like super?
It was super iconic, and the song was like kind of a popular single, and then that Vine took off, and it was like that song became like an internet sensation for a little bit, because it in the Vine, for those who haven't seen it, again, links in the show notes. A boy, like a teenage boy, is in the passenger seat of a car singing along, and he just progressively headbangs his way to the high note of the chorus and is like opening his mouth as if he's like swallowing a baseball as he's like screaming the note. Like, it's so wide and ridiculous looking, and that's kind of how it feels singing along to this song. It's like Beyonce is just belting, like she's clearly just showing off on this song, and I think that's what makes it so fun, is you can feel the energy of her performance. Like you said, the beat has this nice 80s pop, like Janet Jackson type of sensibility to it, which is interesting. I think if somebody else were singing on it, it wouldn't do it justice, though. Like, you really need somebody with some serious pipes to kind of take this to the next level, and Beyonce is clearly doing that here. She's giving it all she has, and it's working very well for her. I'm not surprised to know that you had no idea what this song was before now, because this is the first time I think I've ever heard you speak publicly or privately about Queen Bey, but bow down. Respect the queen. This song is great, and while I'm kind of surprised it made it onto our playlist, I'm glad it's here, because everybody needs a little bit of Beyonce.
I think doing this show has really lowered my guard. I feel like this is gonna sound like really kind of weird, but it's like I feel like there's like a weird like sort of like toxic masculinity about like listening to like pop music, right? And like if it's good, it's
there totally is. Pop music is extremely gendered.
Yeah, like I think just I've kind of gotten to a point where I'm like, if it's good, it's good. And you know, I think right out the gate, picking karaoke and picking like I haven't talked about picking Dancing Queen in a very long time, but that's always been like a song I've loved, but been kind of like in a way afraid to say it. So I think this is just kind of like me just kind of not being concerned about that. You know, like I'm never gonna be probably Beyonce's number one fan, you know, but like I can acknowledge that it's a good song.
I could totally see him dancing with like two of his dogs to this song.
Like holding them up.
Yeah, like trying to do his own little TikTok video now with like two pugs.
Oh, I love this mental image.
You know, with little hats on and stuff. Yeah, because this is a man that loves every sweet baby angel. It doesn't matter what kind of angel it is. He just is all about that life. And that's because he grew up with a pretty stunningly awesome Christmas tree, which for listeners who don't know, Tyler's parents' Christmas tree, I don't know if it still is. He'll have to tell me after I explain what it is.
Don't you worry.
Instead of having like a traditional Christmas liner on the bottom, it is covered with animals.
Stuffed animals, we should say.
Not real, of course. Yeah, stuffed animals, but still, the whole under tree is stuffed animals, and it's the coolest thing that you've never seen before. And it's so unique and wonderful, and it really just spices up your holiday to see it. It's so unique and awesome.
It's evolved so much because now she has like just birds that are like clipped onto the tree. It's a very natural tree. There's just like it's completely head to toe in animals, which I feel like now that you say that out loud is probably a good reason why I do love animals so much.
Yeah. Well, you had a dog growing up.
I did have a dog, and then my dad was like, I never want to have another pet ever again. And I said, well, that's kind of a boner killer. I don't love that.
It's good to know that your dad killed your boner when you couldn't have another dog.
You know, maybe those weren't the correct words, but you know what? We're doing it live, so.
But no, I think this is a wonderful pick for a Sweet Baby Angels challenge. A little bit romantic lovey, but I get it. People have strong feelings for your animals. You know, you care about them deeply.
Well, I guess I'll go next since I actually followed the prompt as written.
Let's take it easy.
Uncreative lane stay in her.
This week I chose Write About Love by Belle and Sebastian.
That you are sick. Right about love, it could be in any form. Hide it to me in the morning.
I hate my job. I'm working way too much. Every day I'm stuck in an office. At 1 o'clock, I take my lunch up on the roof. The city's right below.
So Belle and Sebastian are an indie like chamber pop band from Glasgow, Scotland. They kind of grew into American like indie success in the late 90s and early 2000s, and then had a couple of like minor crossover hits when some of their songs were featured on the Juno soundtrack. And that's how I discovered them. And I've just kind of followed them at a distance ever since then. I find them incredibly charming, but a band that I kind of need in small doses because they're very idiosyncratic. Like, nobody really sounds like them, and they just kind of like do their own thing all the time. It's very smart, kind of like twee indie pop. And this song in particular is the title track off of their 2010 album, Belle and Sebastian Write About Love. And it's about a person who I guess is a like freelance writer or something, and their boss is telling them to write about love for work. And it has this like kind of romantic nature to it, but also this like sweet female vocal saying, I hate my job, I'm working way too much every day, I'm stuck in an office. And that's kind of how I feel when I'm like in my office and I just want to get home to my sweet baby angels. You know, it's like you're just trying to put on some pleasant music to kind of while through the day and get to the part where you get to go home and cuddle with your puppers, because that's what you need sometimes. And Belle and Sebastian kind of feels like spending a day at home on the couch with your pet or your significant other. Like, they're kind of cute, they're kind of bubbly and fun, and it's how I want to spend a Saturday. I recently spent a Saturday afternoon just kind of milling about in my apartment listening to Belle and Sebastian for a couple hours, and it was really pleasant. So that's why I picked them.
See, I was wondering how you were going to tie this song into your Sweet Baby Angel, but I definitely see you like in some sort of animal montage in Golden Gate Park. Maybe you're throwing a frisbee with, you know, your golden retriever, or you're taking a jog with your Irish setter or something. You know, I always imagined you as having a very pretty dog. You don't have like the ugly dog, like the champion dog from Parks and Rec with 3 legs. You have a very like stylized, groomed dog. So I don't know, maybe you guys are like sitting at the cafe or something.
There was a while there where I wanted one of those mop-looking dogs like Mark Zuckerberg, but then I realized how hard it would be to clean and decided against it.
Yeah. No, you have a very well put together, mannered dog. Not like Tyler. His dog jumps on you when you come in the door and he doesn't discipline it.
My dog lays on the couch and wags its tail while I listen to indie rock, yeah.
But it's fine because it's like 1 foot tall. Yeah.
Listen, if I ever actually have a dog, I'm gonna make sure well behaved. But I don't feel like.
See, but everyone's gonna like your dog more, Tyler, because your dog's gonna be like into everybody and real nice. Taylor's dog is a real judgy dog.
I don't feel like S'more was a judgy dog. I feel like S'more loved everyone.
She did. She was a great dog.
Well, that wasn't... No, I mean, when he has his own dog, that's not a family dog.
That's my
He'll have a real judgy dog that matches his judgy personality.
Can we stop criticizing my dog and move on to talking about my song, please?
Immediately start looking into your record store bag. It's gonna, like, start sniffing around in there. Like, oh, God.
Enough.
It'll, like, poop in the evil neighbor's lawns.
Unlike Sean, I just kind of sensed that this was like a vibe song rather than like a lyric song, which is more or less kind of also what I did. I was just kind of like, this just seems like a song that feels good. And I feel like for Taylor, this makes a lot of sense because I feel like you want to have like you're trying to just make it through the day. And like, you don't want something that's too exciting. Like, you're not going to be like belting Beyonce in your little office. Like, you're not doing that. You gotta persist. You have to just head down, keep on working. And I feel like it works for that. But I also feel like it works well for just kind of like just hanging out, just kind of chilling with the pup, with the cat. Yeah, and I agree that the sort of like call and response between what I presume is Belle and Sebastian.
It's not. There's
It's
no
nice.
one in the band named Belle or Sebastian. It's just a name they came up with.
Good
guess, though.
It's a Hootie and the Blowfish all over again. There's no Blowfish in that band at all.
Wait, no one's named Blowfish in the Hootie and the Blowfish?
No, I know. It's a crime. Anyway, but no, this is
Next,
surprisingly...
you're going to tell me that Meatloaf doesn't have band members that are named Marty, Ethan, Alan,
Ketchup.
and Terry.
Keep going, Tyler. Don't acknowledge that terrible joke.
This makes me want to listen to more Belle and Sebastian. So at the very least, it's a good little tune. Let's get them into it. And what did you say that was the like the genre, the kind of like the micro genre they belong to?
Chamber pop is what people would say. A rock music style characterized by an emphasis on melody and texture, including intricate use of strings, horn, piano, and vocal harmonies.
I like the sound of that. But I'm always about two vocalists.
This I know about you.
As one of my favorite things. Yeah, good pick. Good pick.
All right, well, that just leaves Sean, who played by his own rules this week.
Calvin Ball, baby.
Sean, what did you bring us?
This week, I chose Maramasa. Deal with it.
Walking back through my old estate, I see my mates that ain't my mates, and they don't wanna stay safe. They say you've changed. So deal with it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Deal with it. Deal with it. You're punishing yourself, mate. Deal with it. 1% on my phone and getting me home, so I'm.
As I kind of alluded to when I was talking about my methodology, I didn't realize this was supposed to be about your pets, but it kind of works for my pets because I own a cat, and she's our own creature. And she does tell us to deal with it a lot because she's a cat. That's what cats do. You just deal with it, and they deal with you. So, I don't know. I don't know. Taylor has lived with a cat. He's never owned a cat. Tyler, I think you have also lived with a cat but never owned a cat. But would you confirm or deny that cats are very deal-with-it animals?
Oh, they totally are.
The cat that's currently in my house now, she will do literally nothing all day, but when she wakes up, sometimes she'll just sit like in the doorway that basically leads either to the bathroom or to my room, and it's just like a choke point, and she will just get really mad if I walk by her. I'm like, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. Or she'll like just sit in my computer chair, and I'm like, B, you gotta get up. And she's like, I'm mad at you now. I'm like, this is my room. You can't be mad at me in my room. And she don't care.
Yeah, you can. Just deal with it.
Right. No, you're right.
I don't know if you came to this song through my recommendation, Sean, but I'm going to assume you did, because I definitely recommended this song to you on an episode of our Patreon exclusive podcast, Billy Joe Armstrong's Middle School Notebook. Give us money on Patreon, get a second podcast every month. And this is off of the new Muramasa record, Raw Youth Collage. I love Muramasa. He's one of my favorite producers out there right now. And this was a major departure from his previous work. There's a lot more guitar on this record. And this song in particular has a lot of weird vocal manipulation on Slow Tie's vocal that really kind of bothered me the first time I listened to it. But the more I listen to it, it's becoming my favorite track on this new record. I love the very cat-like energy, as Sean put it, of just deal with it. And the fact that like that line just gets repeated after every verse. Like each section of the verse is kind of a complaint about something, and then Slow Tie just goes, deal with it. And I'm like, yeah, deal with it. This came on when I was on the train today, and it was crowded because today was the Atlanta Marathon, and there were people everywhere, and it was super loud and sweaty, and people were getting all upset, and I was just like, deal with it. The song is awesome. It has great vibes. I'm still not totally sure that it fits the challenge, but I am really excited that it's on the playlist. And yeah, cats are sometimes like, deal with it, so I guess you did all right.
No, hey, if you can make yours work, I'll make mine work too. Because my cat is definitely, well, she is awesome. I do miss her because she's a deal with it cat. Like, she's her own little animal, and she doesn't care. You have to play by her timeline and by her rules, and she expects it to be that way. And if you don't like it, she's just going to egg you on until you do it. And you just have to deal. Like, it doesn't matter. You're getting up at 6 on Sunday and putting food in the bin. That's how that works. You're playing after dinner. When you sit down and eat, that initiates it's time to play. So, like, I told her on Friday, I was like, it's Friday. It's Pop's night off. We're not playing tonight. You know, we're going to play throw the treats and chase after the treats time, but we're not playing laser. No. We got treats, and then we had laser because we continued to egg me on about playing laser. That's exactly what happens. Because you just have to deal with it. And in turn, she has to deal with me. Because I'm a needy cat owner, and I'm like, come here. Come sit with me. And she's like, no. And I'm like, no. Come over and sit with me. And then she comes over and sits with me, but she stays like just far enough away. Like, she cat force fields me sometimes, like where she comes by, and I reach down to pet her, and she like arcs under my hand as if like just like like she can feel the energy, and she just like wiggles under me. I'm like, you are being quite a cat jerk right now, but I love you because that's just who you are, and I accept you. But you're a jerk.
See, I feel like Sean is missing the gold mine here because I feel like Sean just. I don't know. I mean, I've known Sean for a long time, but I feel like he's a little misanthropic. I feel like he is switches of, just like, I don't want to deal with people, and I can just imagine that Sean like puts this on at work when he's like, I don't want to talk to any of you people. I don't like any of you. I just want to go home and we'll go to my cat. And so you're just telling, like, this is like Sean being like short tempered with people. He's like, just deal with it. I feel like that's the vibe I got from this, and I feel like that also works very well. But I also agree that is the cat energy is just they do whatever they want. But I feel like the challenge is really about thinking about them while you're at work. So that's my thought. But I surprisingly actually really like this as well. I feel like he really I'm guessing Slow Tie was probably the vocalist on this track, the main vocalist.
Yes, Slow Tie is the vocalist.
And he, from what I kind of like, he really kind of goes in on like kind of like that really nice like English accent, kind of like I don't know specifically where he's from, right? But whatever his like kind of accent is, I think he really kind of really just like goes all in on that. And I think it sounds really cool. I think it really adds a lot to the attitude. Kind of reminds me of, I don't want to say This Is England, because that's not a good thing, because that was a movie that had a lot of bad things in it. I don't know. I just thought I think it's cool. It's got a nice attitude to it. I'm into it, and this makes me want to listen to actually both of these artists. As a matter of fact, Slow Tie was just featured on one of the new Gorillaz songs. Isn't that fun? You should check that out.
He's having a moment right now. He's blowing up, so you should definitely check him out.
All right, now it's time for notable B-sides, and these were songs that were so close to making you, well, being the Sweet Baby Angels song. Anybody got some runner-up Sweet Baby Angels songs?
I got a couple. I had Home Soon by Dope Lemon, Crazy For You by Best Coast, and Nothing But Our Love by Junior Jr., formerly Dale Earnhardt Jr. They were forced to change their name.
Makes a lot of sense.
They were forced to change their name.
It's true. They were sued by Dale Earnhardt Jr. and had to change their name.
This week, I was so close to choosing. Literally, I went to like a DJ set at the Northside Tavern, and there was a band that was playing, and I listened to like 5 seconds of a song, and then I found him on Spotify, and I heard the song. I was like, "Ooh, this is almost it." So I almost had a chance encounter that I found the perfect song randomly when I wasn't even meaning to, which is Cool by Sam Soto, Naked by Henrik the Artist, Say So by Doja Cat, Tapioca by Slime Girls, Redbone by Childish Gambino, Pay No Mind by Madeon and Passion Pit, All For You by Janet Jackson, and Heart to Break by Kim Petras.
I had one song. You heard it because I messed up on the challenge. So I just said, this is what it is. Entered it in.
Well done, buddy.
I try.
Well, Tyler, if people want to put your love on top, where can they find you?
Hey everybody, you can find my design and illustration work at rudepets.club, and as always, you can find me in the socials as Rudepets Club on Instagram and Twitter.
Sean, if people want to be your mates but not your mates, where can they find you?
You can find me on the IG at Sean_Adelray.
And if you want to take your lunch up on the roof with me, I'm on the socials at TC Olmstead. And if you want to hear any of these songs, they're all on our official No Repeat podcast playlist on Apple Music and Spotify. We'll be back here next week with 3 more songs on another episode of No Repeat.